Hey, Joseph here. If you're new to the page, thank you for coming. I am a certified life coach, a published author, a content creator, a music artist, and all those things you can find at the link below. And so I want to talk about something very specific right now. I had someone ask me a question recently where they asked, are we all dealing with a form of psychosis? And so the immediate response would be, no, we're not all dealing with psychosis. But then my response was an immediate, yes, we are. Let's talk about it. The reason I said yes is that we all are dealing with a form of psychosis. Now, psychosis, according to the textbook version, is hallucinating, seeing things there that are not there, hearing things that are not there, feeling things that are not there. And so it's important to look at psychosis within the context of the textbook and those who created the textbook version. Now, when we think about hallucinations and seeing things that are not there, it's important to know if what we're seeing or the definition that we're adopting is coming through the lenses of those that created the definition, or is it coming from a general idea of life itself? Because here's the thing, everyone is engrossed in their own story about life itself, which means we're not all seeing the same thing at the same time in the same way about the same thing. In other words, I could be saying the sky is blue, but then another person could be saying the sky is gray. What happens is it creates an argument, it creates conflict, it creates a difference of opinion. And so usually in that difference of opinion, there are those who are seeing the sky as blue, proving that the sky is blue, and then there are those who see the sky as gray, are proving that the sky is gray. And often those who create the textbook version of psychosis will take the side that's seeing blue the most and say, well, yeah, the sky is blue, and discredit and dismiss those that are seeing the sky as gray, and identifying those who are seeing the sky as gray as hallucinators. Let's diagnose them with psychosis, without taking into an account that we are all living under a paradox, which means multiple things are true at the same time. It has little to do with the sky being blue or the sky being gray. It's about knowing and choosing the version of the sky that works best for your perception. Now, that's not easy to accept or embrace when you are worried about whether something is true or false, whether something is positive or negative, whether something is safe or dangerous. Because another part of this whole conversation is the systems that are set in place that are profiting off of the division, that are profiting off of the fighting and the debating and the constant trying to prove the rightness and the wrongness of a thing. Because that constant fighting to prove everything is what keeps you problem focused. And what you end up doing is you begin perpetuating the actual definition of psychosis, which means you are not only seeing something one way, but you are diminishing others who are seeing it in a different way, whether you agree or disagree with it or not. And psychosis is considered a mental health concern, but the biggest mental health concern is those that are profiting off of the division. Those who created the textbook version of psychosis, those who are put in places of power to say, well, this is right and this is wrong. This is resourceful, this is not resourceful. And those people, meaning these systems that we are all governed by, the mental health concern is a hoarding disorder. They are hoarding the wealth and the resources on the planet. They are hoarding the economics. They are hoarding the social dynamics at your expense. So now this idea and this version of psychosis has expanded beyond just your personal definition of it and your personal idea of it. And what that does is it expands your story. It expands the way that you're seeing things. It expands the way that you're hearing things. It expands the way that you're feeling things. And when those things begin to expand, then you can put this mental health concern into a clearer perspective. What you end up doing is you begin humanizing it. When you begin humanizing what you consider to be a problem, what you consider to be a concern, it becomes less of a concern. It becomes less of a problem. And it becomes more about understanding. It becomes more about human empathy. It becomes more about emotional intelligence. And anything opposite of that is emotional manipulation. Then we begin showing up in a way where all of us can coexist in spite of our differences. Now, keep in mind, when we do have conversations around mental health concerns, there are extreme cases like schizophrenia, like situations where there is a sense of disconnect from the physical reality, a disconnect from the sense of a paradox, the disconnect from a sense of themselves, and those require extra care. But when you do have a sense of yourself, when you do have a sense of physical reality, this now puts the choice in your hand. Are you going to continue to fight to try to prove how right or how wrong something is? Or are you going to be treating yourself more kindly and more gently and more well, whether you're right or wrong? That is where your power lies. Sit with that for a bit, and if this resonated with you in some way, shape, or form, then let's talk about it in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear if this resonated, and if it does, please like, comment, share. Let's expand the conversation. But in the meantime, in between time, thank you for stopping by to share the space with me, and be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and treat this right now moment the same as the right now moments to come.